So in this video we won't talk about Cuba, because Cuba is an obvious example of North Korea in America. Everyone knows about Cuba and Caribbean Missile Crisis. So forget about Cuba. Everyone told you here about Cuba. But in fact, except Cuba, we've got another one example of the local North Korea. And probably it's even closer to the status of the North Korea than Cuba. So let me introduce you our today's guest, and it's Nicaragua. Today you can find this country in the list with different world marginals. They always vote in favor of Russia in the United Nations. They are isolated from the rest of the world. And don't forget that to a certain degree, all of them are under the Western sanctions. Of course, each of them have different types of economics, different political regimes, but they still have some common sense that unites them. But at the same time, Nicaragua is a unique example of such a state. They are included into a lot of different world organizations. They even got the membership in the World Bank, International Monetary Fund, and World Trade Organization. And because of that, we see the situation when they act like the marginal state. They've got some Western sanctions, but at the same time, Nicaragua is trading with the world, acting in the different world organizations, so they are kinda strange. But the problem isn't only in their weird position on the world stage. Nicaragua is a truly complicated country, and there is only one problem that no one talks about. Yeah, you've heard about some outsiders of the Western Hemisphere, such as Cuba and Haiti, but Nicaragua didn't go far away from them. So the first problem, economics. When I told you that they didn't go far away from Haiti, I didn't joke at all. If we take a look on their GDP per capita, we see that they are the poorest country in the region after the Haiti. Plus, if we compare their GDP graphic with the Haitian one, they are just similar. The only difference between them is scale of the economics. So what did go wrong with their economy? First thing that we need to see is their export tree map. And what do we got here? It's a typical low-developed economy, which is focusing on exporting raw materials and agriculture. But at least they export some gold and a little bit of low-value industrial products such as scrap iron and scrap copper. Their main export partner is the United States, and their main import partners are the United States and China. But the last one is really interested in the development of Nicaragua, because they want to get a stable partner in the Central America. They even wanted to build their own new canal through Nicaragua as the alternative way for the Panama Canal, which is de facto a US property. You can learn more about it from the Hussars video, you must check it because it's made really good. But we are moving to the funniest part of the China-Nicaragua's relationships. So, when they were discussing to build the new canal through the Nicaragua, which is estimated around $50 billion, there was one insignificant moment. Nicaraguan government didn't recognize Chinese government. So discussions were active from 2013 to 2016. But till 2021 they recognized only the Republic of China or Taiwan. So Blood wanted to build infrastructure in their country which doesn't even recognize them. The biggest we moment in the Nicaraguan history. But let's get back to the fundamental problems in their economy. In my video about Haiti, I told you that, well, Haiti isn't like an American country at all. They've got their own language, culture, racial structure, so on. So we can easily explain what did go wrong with them. But if we take Nicaragua, they are a typical Central American country in their conditions. Spanish-speaking country, mixed-race society, in which Latin population is dominating, but with the bigger amount of white people than we usually see in the other Latin American countries. But as it always happens in the Latin America, they had the military coups, dictatorships, and of course the US occupation for 21 years. And it didn't affect them good too. But we've got one thing that can explain everything: the Nicaraguan Revolution, which lasted for almost 30 years, from 1961 to 1990. It has totally destroyed the country, caused a lot of problems inside of the state, and Nicaragua is still recovering from that whole mess. In fact, they are trying to do something with their economy and stabilizing their economical situation in the country, making reforms, but it's just going not as well as you could imagine. And now I wanna get back to the United Nations. As I mentioned before, Nicaragua is one of the main Russian allies in the world. They always support Russia. They recognize the annexation of Crimea, independence of Abkhazia and South Ossetia, and even supported Russia in October 2022 when they annexed 4 Ukrainian regions. The only one question which all of you have: why? Just why do they support Russia? Why don't they support the United States? And the saying is easier to understand than you might thought. So this is Daniel Ortega, who is the president of the Nicaragua since 2007. And during the Nicaraguan revolution, he was a Marxist and a part of the pro-Soviet forces in the Nicaragua. Back then, from 1979 to 1990, Soviet Union gave a major support for Nicaragua to fight against the pro-Western forces. In fact, Ortega was in power since 1979 till 1990. Then he lost the elections, but he won them again in 2007. And since that time, he re-established a really good relationships with the Russian Federation and Vladimir Putin. Because of his pro-Russian views, his regime was sanctioned by the US government. Well, those sanctions aren't as harmful as sanctions on Iran or Russia, but it cuts all opportunities to get the Western money for them. If you wanna read more about the US sanctions on Nicaragua, I will leave the link in the description so you can see the material by your own. Will that anti-Western course change in the future? Who knows, because still, Nicaragua has got a lot of reasons to blame United States in their unsuccesses, and they just wanna find their own place in the world. With having that good strategical position in the region, they can attract a lot of attention to them, as well as investments in their projects and economy. They are deep in their economical relationships with Russia, China and other countries. So who knows which role will they play in the future, not only of America, but of the whole world too.
Salam alaikum, alaikum salam.